Opera has a reputation for being a bit less accessible than other forms of music, but sometimes just a little exposure can create a lifelong fan. In the case of a Texas native, Latonia Moore, it went much further than that. She became an international opera star, and now she's incorporating her jazz and gospel influences into classical performances, trying to convince skeptics to give the art form she loves a second chance. From Washington, Christina Ruffini has her story.
The desired effect that you want for your audience is that they have absolutely felt something.
Opera singer Latonia Moore likes drama.
I want them to feel the gamut of emotion, you know, like devastated if they're supposed to feel devastated.
As Leonora in the Washington National Opera's production of Il Trovatore, she's had her heart broken, drank poison, and become an unwitting player in a very complicated and well-sung revenge plot.
I want them to feel like they really went through it. That's the point. That's, for an artist up on the stage, that's what makes our heart beat, for real.
But for Moore, becoming a classical opera singer was and is a non-traditional process.
Because I was coming in here and you could hear warming up, opera vocals warming up, and then we've got like this is what I play before I'm like going out on a Friday night. Is this your usual hype up routine?
Yep, it sure is. It's always just some kind of random pop music, hip hop or R&B, rock. I like to just kind of loosen up and just be me and relax my brain.
Growing up, it was jazz and gospel, not opera, that filled the family speakers. Moore performed some classical music in school choirs, but ultimately enrolled in college as a jazz major.
And the teacher says to me, as soon as he hears me warming up, doing vocalises, "You're an opera singer. I think that opera is for you. You should join the opera chorus." I joined the opera chorus. I loved it.
What did you love about it?
Right at home. I felt like it was cool that I could act out any kind of fantasy thing I'd ever been thinking in my head, like out on the stage.
1, 3, 4.
The spectacle of a full-fledged production like Verdi at the Kennedy Center means performers have to sing through sword fights, navigate massive sets, and endure a marathon of unforgiving measures.
It's very challenging. It's very hard to sing, and it's one of those things that it takes experience being able to negotiate how you can handle the role stamina-wise.
Does the fact that you had more of a jazz background, do you think that influences and helps you in your opera roles?
I let it influence my style, sure. Sometimes to my detriment, but it's worth it.
Worth it to get to live out her fantasies as a taffeta-clad courtier or an Ethiopian princess.
Feeling the energy, it's unbeatable. I mean, I need it. It's my drug of choice.
But opera hasn't always chosen singers who look like Moore. And although companies are getting better at diversity, making strides towards colorblind casting, opera, especially in Europe, is still struggling with an outdated and controversial practice, darkening white singers' skin to play non-white roles.
Coloring your body in order to portray a role is just not necessary. Anyone can look like anything. It's our job to show you that we are who we are based on the way we sing our roles, the way we sing the words. It's gotten out of hand.
What part of it's gotten out of hand, do you think?
That people insist on doing it no matter what, just because it's tradition. But it was never necessary. Don't have to do it. Please, guys, stop.
For opera to survive and flourish, Moore says it needs to focus on showing audiences how relatable and modern these centuries-old scores can actually be.
There was a moment last night in the opera. There are these two men like screaming, shouting, singing over you, and your character just says, "Hear me!" And I think like we all just felt that. You could hear the audience kind of laugh because it was like you're getting mansplained to in Italian. Like, is that the kind of relatability stuff that you're talking about?
Oh my gosh, absolutely, exactly that, you know? But I mean, how amazing that you're saying something like that, because the relatability is absolutely there in moments like that.
It doesn't matter if you can't speak the language. Moore says the most important thing is to find an opera that speaks to you.
There's opera for all, and there's opera for all kinds of people. You just have to kind of open your mind and give it a chance.
For CBS Saturday Morning, Christina Ruffini, Washington.
Loverly.
You're applauding.
I know, it was so good. It was so good.
It's so true. I love that moment that Christina referenced also, because that is it. It is find that moment that relates, and that's how you bring another generation into it.
Hear me.
Yeah.
Hear me.
Hear me. Stop mansplaining, Jeff.
And the themes just are so relatable. I love the costume changes and bringing it up to date to a new, period in time. It's classic. What can we say?
That's right.